We're talking Rosé, an enormously important, increasingly revered, enjoyed category of wine by wine drinkers the world over. A category with more diversity of colours and styles than ever before. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, and in our country, it's the fastest growing category of any wine style. So let's get at it. Right. Hey, am I pouring or you?
You're pouring. Come on. Look
right.
at this. He's all over it.
Oh, no, before we start, now, just look at those three beautiful colours. Absolutely lovely.
A nice different sort of Dulux colour chart.
And there's Tom saying it would look a lot nicer in my glass.
It
I
is.
know, I know. All right then. But I just wanted to see those colours because it shows that rosé colours, pink colours are different. Now,
well, tell me about this. Rosé, the most easy style of wine to drink. That's what I'm saying. Is it the easiest style of wine to make?
No, it absolutely isn't. Oh, look at that colour. Look at that colour. Just catching at this English sunshine. And no wonder this is actually the fastest growing type of wine in England. Look at that. And now the sun's gone in, so we can drink it.
Absolutely.
English rosé wine. You sort of think, oh, it must be easy to make. It's just a sort of somewhere halfway between red wine and white wine. It'll be easy. Squash the grapes, not very hard. Ferment them quickly. There it is. Well, it's not so. Think about red wines. You've got lots to hide behind. You've got the colour to hide behind. You've got oak barrels to hide behind. You've got that tannic thing to hide behind. White wines, you've got lots of fruit to hide behind. You've got acid to hide behind. Rosé, you've got nothing to hide behind. You basically have a softer style of fruit, much lower acid in most of these wines. And colour-wise, well, that colour comes from the black grape skins, and to get the colour right, this beautiful, lovely, vibrant pink colour, you have to get the temperature of the fermentation absolutely right. You have to get the amount of time you leave the juice in contact with those dark skins absolutely right. And we're talking about half an hour too long one way or the other and you get the wrong colour. 2 or 3 degrees temperature wrong in the fermentation and you get the wrong colour. And I've got really good winemaker friends who said they've taken 10 years to actually be happy with the rosés they make. 10 years.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of those wines, as you say, it's expressive in a number of different directions. It's got the aromatic quality and lifted kind of skin contact characters you get from red wine.
Just a little of it.
But it's got this bold, bright, vivacious clarity that you get from whites. And trying to find that kind of delicate balance between the two is key. In our glass here, we've got Carvers Hill, very nice Pinot Noir rosé. This is great. It's from Wiltshire. And the cool thing about this is there's Pinot Noir, but there's also another type of Pinot. There's Pinot Précoce. And Précoce is this more deeply coloured, more extractive coloured, earlier ripening style of Pinot. And I think what that brings to the blend here is it probably brings a bit of this lovely, gorgeous pink.
Just that
brings that colour out.
Slightly deeper pink there, yeah.
And also probably a more accessible juiciness. Pinot Noir's got this, it's always just, you've always just got to lean into Pinot Noir, just meet it halfway a little bit. It's always savoury, leafy, a little bit earthy. Précoce is much more just joyous.
I mean, Précoce means early, and that means so it ripens just a bit more quickly than the Pinot Noir does. So it means that if you pick your grapes in September, on September the 20th, the Précoce will have a little bit more colour, a little bit more fruit, a little bit more ripeness.
But this is just sensational. And I think there's a big misnomer in rosé that people think the darker the rosé, the sweeter it is. I think people often dodge deeper, richer rosés. And it's probably because of categories of rosé like, you know, the infamous white Zinfandel, that sort of thing.
I was thinking the category nowadays to dodge, of course, is Provence rosé, because that's made an absolute past expertise at how pale can you go.
Absolutely.
How much more money can you charge for how pale it is.
And this is a great example, isn't it? This is bone dry, racy, deeper coloured, more flavourful. The thing colour does give you an indication of is depth of flavour.
Yeah.
Even if it's lean, even if it's fresh, it's tight as anything and easy drinking. If it's a darker colour, it's just had a little bit more skin contact. It's just got a little bit more flavour, a little bit more grip and grab. Perfect foodie wines.
Because, of course, when you look at how red wines get not only their colour, that's all from the skins, but most of their flavour is also in the skins, and the aroma is also in the skins. You think about a black grape skin, you think, oh, I'll chew the grape, and you know how we spit out the skins of black grapes. But actually, if we actually macerated them all in a saucepan for a few hours, it's amazing the extra aromas and flavours which would come out from it, hidden in the skins. So every hour or two that it has with the skins, it does bring out an extra texture. If you want rosés to have tons and tons of personalities, they can. And of course, the best way to do it is to be in a cool climate like England. And this is Wiltshire here, isn't it?
This is Wiltshire. And standing here amongst the salad onions and the beautiful flowers and the kitchen garden at the Pig near Bath, I think, this is the perfect wine for this environment. These are food-friendly wines. If you had opulence beyond belief, but if you had a lobster, whole lobster, cracked alongside this, it's just, beautiful crab. This is like one of the best seafood wines out there. It's just got a little bit of extra flavour to it than a crisp white, but it's got all of that same refreshing zing cut through. Yeah. Oz, take me to Provence.
But
Come
hang
on.
I just going on that. I saw, for instance, on the menu there were things like beetroot salads.
Yeah.
You see, this would be fantastic with a beetroot salad.
Over the moon with that.
I think this would be fantastic with most things. Well done, Carvers Hill. It's really nice stuff.
Now come on, out of Wiltshire, get me down to Nice. Fly me to Nice.
Sorry, I just killed a bumblebee. Sorry about that. One bumblebee less in your garden. So,
outrageous.
Where can I throw this which won't kill? Oh, throw it.
There he goes. Perfect. It's a whole family of bees.
That's time, isn't it?
That is time.
That's going to be really aromatic in a few weeks' time. Let's do next.
Do you know what else is
look
time?
At the colour. Yes.
How long I'm waiting for my Provence Rosé. I can't begin to tell you.
It's the way he tells them. It's the way he tells them. Well, this isn't even open. I hope this is a
fading
screw
away
cap.
here. It's a screw cap. It's an interesting these are quite modern, these things.
Yeah, screw cap, honestly, I hope none of you care about screw caps nowadays. It's a really tremendous way to keep wines fresh. And also, of course, it means if you're wandering off into the garden like this, haven't got a corkscrew, doesn't matter. I've got friends in their 20s who don't know what corkscrews are.
Exactly.
They've never used one.
Exactly.
Now look at this colour as we put it in.
Here we go. It disappears.
Yeah, but then it comes. It's probably a marketing ruse. You have to pour more wine into the glass so you can actually see the colour. So you drink faster, and everybody makes more money except Tom and me.
Now there is, but to be fair, Oz, we do make our money standing in the kitchen garden drinking wine.
Yes, yes.
Horses for courses.
Oh, you're being paid, are you? Now he tells me.
Now, we're into Provence. Provence is this beautiful region on the Mediterranean basin of France. You think about the coastline, you think about Saint-Tropez, you think of swimsuit models. These are wines that are made to make you feel like you're down there on the beach, fit as a fiddle, even if you're sitting in your paddling pool in your back garden, right? That's what these things are for. And over the last 15 years, the Provence category has, as you said earlier, redefined rosé. It's made it serious. It's made it something you can turn up to a party with and actually kind of have gratitude from your hosts. But what it has also done is it has demanded that paler is better.
Yeah.
And actually here, do you know, Oz, for all of that, and for the easy criticism of Provence in the sense that we say, oh, you've made everything too pale, it is a sensationally refreshing, beautiful wine, isn't it?
And the reason is?
It's great.
It's from Aix-en-Provence, not on Provence. Look at that label there. In great big words, Aix. Aix is one of those wonderful towns in Provence, well away from the seaside. This is miles away from Saint-Tropez and people in the bathing
Greek
costumes.
scrubland. You've gone up into hillsides.
Up into the hillsides. These vineyards here are about 1,000 feet up, and they're the vineyards on the side of Mont Sainte-Victoire.
Yes.
Do you know that? It's an amazing mountain. Cézanne, you know Cézanne, of course you do. It's the most famous series of paintings probably that Cézanne ever did. He painted this mountain 87 times. It's just fantastic. And by the way, just talking French art, you go to the top of the mountain and look down and see a dam, and the dam you see below you was designed by Émile Zola's grandfather.
Come on.
Honestly, smarty pants me.
Love this.
Where do I learn all this stuff?
Swatting up, honestly.
But the thing about Aix is that you get much more flavour, much more fruit. This is 1,000 feet up, and that means it's much colder at night, much better acidity, much more focus in the fruit. I think this is really excellent wine 50, 60 kilometres away from the seaside.
And counterintuitively, Provence Rosé in the main is made from quite thick-skinned, dark grapes, right? The idea here is very low levels of skin contact, gently pressed, out comes this lovely clear juice, and you might end up with an hour, a couple of hours, something of just gentle extraction. You've got grapes in here. Most of this is Grenache, lovely, juicy, scented, low ripeness, really perfectly matched strawberry kind of Grenache. Then you've got Cinsault.
Yep.
And you've got a very nice little whack in there of Syrah as well.
I think that just brings that fruit in.
Exactly.
A little bit of blackcurrant, a little bit of blackberry, blackcurrant, raspberry, that kind of. But you're right. Grenache is a fantastic grape. The wine is rounder than the English one. It's also got lots of flavour. I think it's really good. It's rounder and it's soft. Honestly, if you wanted a Provence Rosé, look for the word X. By the way, and also they do it in magnums. They sell more magnums in of this than any other Provence producer. They also do it in 15-litre Nebuchadnezzars.
Yeah,
enough for me and Tom. We could probably finish that by tea time.
But before we've left the garden.
Before we left the garden.
I think if you're wanting something that's lower acidity, softer, easier drinking, absolutely drink it on its own, happy days, X is your number. And Provence is your number. Yep. If you want something that's a little bit more tense, structured, fresh acidity, food friendly, England's doing that in spades. Yeah. Other than that, they're delivering very similar qualities, characteristics, all those fruit flavours. They're in the same kind of wheelhouse. They're just structured, held together slightly differently.
Brilliant.
Now, Oz, where are we going next?
Okay. I don't know. Sorry, is that bumblebee? Oh, there we are, rolling around. An intoxicated bumblebee down here.
It's a bad day to be this bumblebee.
This is another fascinating idea.
Imagine being drowned with Rosé by Oz Clarke. I've had fever dreams.
If you've got to go, it's a good way to go.
I wake up screaming sometimes with that in my mind.
Yeah, that's your dream. It's not
exactly.
reality. Hey, look at this colour.
There you go. I'm saying it's in the Provençal wheelhouse again.
But it's a little bit bluer.
It is, yeah.
It's got that lovely.
He's going to say it.
Mother of pearl.
It's three times today, mother of pearl.
It's my new phrase.
Mother of pearl. But if it's nice, say it thrice.
It's just beautifully pale, but with just a little shimmer to it. Now, this comes from South Africa, and again, South Africa in the last 10 or 15 years has shown that it can do absolutely any style of wine extremely well.
Reasonably well.
I meant extremely well.
It's good, you're right.
No, it is. They are.
Extremely well.
Really good fizz, really good white wines, really good red wines, and now really good rosés. Again, using different sorts of grapes.
This is, you mentioned blue colour. This is bluer fruit. This is ripe blueberries. This is a little bit of blackberry. It's a slightly darker spectrum of fruit flavour, you know. Still berries, but it's got this darkness to it. Why would that be?
It's because the main, I think the only grape variety is
sole grape.
It's called the Mourvèdre. Now the Mourvèdre is a tough old grape. It's a rather feral grape. It's a grape that has a sort of rather meaty kind of quality, and you make really thick, strong, dark red wines from it.
Bandol,
Châteauneuf-du-Pape has it. Those kind of places. So again, if you're going to make a rosé wine out of it, even if you just keep the skins and the juice in contact for 2 or 3 hours, that's enough to draw something of that Mourvèdre character, that slightly feral character, that slightly meaty character. You then wrap it with nice winemaking so that the fruit really comes up. You've got a really interesting, serious glass of rosé.
So Babylonstoren here, they are the official rosé of the Chelsea Flower Show. And for quite a few years, to be fair, which this kitchen garden is giving a run for its money, to be frank. No point going to Chelsea where it's very busy. Come here, get away from it. I've popped over there with these guys once or twice in the last few years, and they put on an incredible show, but they're incredibly proud of their wines. That's what they're about. They want to showcase their wine in these incredibly kind of evocative environments, and the wine stands up to it. The wine absolutely is for that. It's a social wine. The Mourvèdre gives it a little bit more tannin. This is the wine with the most tannin in a really nice way. It's got this lovely grip to it. It's like biting into a plum. You know that plum skin, just you get the refreshment of the juice and then you get this little grip of just something holding it together.
Absolute plums, isn't it?
Yeah.
You always have a little grip, even when you've cooked the plum for an hour or two and stewed it. The plum skin never wavers.
And I tell you what it does. It makes it moreish. It makes you want to come back just for that little bit more every time. It makes drinking it feel just that little bit more serious, and maybe you're a bit more conscious of every single sip because of it. Great foodie wine.
Very good
amazing foodie wine. Someone get me a pork chop immediately. That's what I want. I think it's a nice thing.
Am I free? Can I go?
Immediately, come on.
I mean, I'll leave. I'll do it.
Do you know, we had it's almost structured enough that if you had a really lovely ribeye or something and it had a nice bit of rendered fat running through it, you could sort of, this would cut through it beautifully but stand up to it. Because quite diverse food.
Because I was thinking that texture-wise, it's almost as full as a quite full-bodied white wine.
100%. Exactly that.
It's a very interesting wine.
We like it a lot. Well, gang, that is a little roundup of Rosé. I hope you enjoyed it. And look, the trick here is, and the message is, get out there, try different Pantones, get eating with it, enjoy it any way you possibly can. It's a very nice thing, hey?
Rosé for the English summer.
Cheers. This is just one of our Wine Alive Summer Sipping Series videos with Oz Clarke and me, Tom Surgey. If you'd like to know more about the wines we've tasted, head over to our blog at wine-alive.com and check out our other videos. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And thanks again for watching. We hope you sip splendidly this summer.